it's not sailing videos. However, sailing gets you places like this.
Okay. So you just come here.
Oop, yep.
The fuel, open fuel is here.
Uh-huh.
Open bonnet is here. And to remove the key, you have to press here.
Oh, to remove the key, yes, I know the one. Yeah.
This is our Land Cruiser Prado, which is going to take us for the next 5 days through Ngorongoro Crater and Serengeti National Park. We're doing a self-drive safari. It's just going to be 2 of us. We're going to be driving through, looking at some animals, hopefully find accommodation for the night. If not, we have a tent. Very excited for the next 5 days. It's going to be very different to our experience in South Africa, but it is what it is.
Sailing gets us here.
Sailing gets us here. Let's start. Let's go. Let's go.
Our first stop for the night was at Roika Tented Camp, right outside the gate of Tarangire National Park. There are no fences at the campsite, so we had wild animals wandering past our doorstep all night long. There was a wonderful old fallen tree just outside our tent, which seemed to attract a lot of wildlife. So first thing in the morning, Richard went to investigate and spotted a couple of elephants rubbing their tusks against the trunk of the tree. In search of more wildlife, we headed through the gate and into the national park. On that first morning, we saw a large herd of elephants, numerous wildebeest, and even one lazy female lion taking a nap on the riverbank. Small animals would move out of our way, however reluctantly. Big ones, not so much. We'd have to stop the car and patiently wait until they crossed the road in search of better grazing grounds. As magnificent as they are, elephants often do a lot of damage to the environment. They uproot large trees by rubbing their tusks against them.
Holy moly, bumpy road. Oof.
This wonderful long day was coming to an end, so sadly, we had to leave the park in search of accommodation for the night. The following morning saw us at the entrance gate of Ngorongoro National Park. We decided we will make a stop in Ngorongoro on our way back from Serengeti, so we just continued driving through, only making a brief stop to admire the scenery. We had 140 kilometers of bone-shattering dirt road ahead of us. The scenery, however, was absolutely spectacular. We even drove past a traditional Maasai village, but on the approach we discovered it was nothing more than a tourist attraction. So we continued towards Serengeti, on a road that got progressively worse and worse. We started wondering if our four-wheel drive can take it.
Checked into Serengeti National Park. Got about an hour to the campsite. We're staying at a public campsite tonight because that's the cheapest option.
On the approach to the campsite, we got greeted by a very judgmental buffalo and discovered we had a flat tire.
Bolly. We must have just blown the tyre just now. I'm not sure.
Could have been
I
100
hope it's good. I hope
kilometers.
it was an ages ago. The rim looks alright.
But first things first, we had to take care of the accommodation for the night.
We got somewhere.
Next morning, our priority was replacing the flat tire. Once done, we were on the way once again, in search of the wild animals. Now this picture is idyllic, only if you don't go too close to that sandbank. Can you spot a crocodile? Oh, the hippo pool. With hippos, you can smell them way before you see them. But enough with the stinkers. Tonight, we're staying at a Sera tented campsite.
And we're going to take the torches with us, shine the torch on the lines. And Jenny's filming me. Ma, if they're going to attack me, it'd be fantastic.
So off on another game drive we went. And that afternoon, finally, amongst other animals, we saw lions who were doing something other than sleeping.
What you looking for, Richard?
I'm just looking for anything, mate. I'm also Simba Junior. I'm looking to the right, you look to the left.
The following day was all about Simbas. Simba is a Swahili word for lion, and we saw plenty of Simbas. Some napping in the shade of a tree in the heat of the day, others going to a watering hole after having a feast on a prey in the morning. That afternoon, we started making our way back to Ngorongoro, past the ostriches and the jackals and the antelopes, and soon beautiful Serengeti savanna turned into a rocky and dusty desert, and kilometers of bone-shattering road were ahead of us that challenged both our car and our patience.
We are leaving the Serengeti National Park. It's been a dusty, rough old drive through this arid desert that we call Serengeti. Next stop, Ngorongoro National Park.
And we're in Ngorongoro National Park, one of 7 natural wonders of Africa. Tonight we're sleeping in a lodge, in bed, no more tent. And tomorrow bright and early we're gonna go drive down to the crater, have a look at animals.
We checked into Rhino Lodge, right inside Ngorongoro Conservation Area. I have to admit, after Serengeti's dry and dusty heat, it was such a relief to see this green and lush scenery. And once again, we had lots of animals at our doorstep. This one, I think, is called an oryx. Early the following morning, we were on the road once again.
Cold and misty morning here in Ngorongoro, and we're now descending into the crater.
Ngorongoro Crater is the world's largest inactive, intact, and unfilled volcanic caldera. It formed about 2 million years ago when a large volcano exploded and collapsed on itself. Currently a national park, Ngorongoro Crater is a habitat to 25,000 large animals. Here, in the area of just 260 square kilometers, you can spot in one single day both the Big Five and the Ugly Five. But the sighting that surprised us the most was this one.
going to get a cappuccino, a large cappuccino in the middle of the Ngorongoro crater.
Can you ever imagine drinking your morning coffee in the middle of Ngorongoro National Park? I never could. There's lots of wildlife. It's
a zoo.
it's incredible because it's just one big open plain and all animals are hanging out together.
Now, if I was a lion, I'd be sitting around here, waiting for some human being.
Speaking of lions, we didn't have to travel far to find them. Soon, we spotted a male and a female lion walking right on the road in between all the safari four-wheel drives and rubbing themselves on the cars. If you guys know why they were doing that, please leave us a comment, we're really curious. Probably annoyed by all this attention, the lions decided to get off the road and head into savannah. Oh well, it was time for us to leave too.
We're done, yeah. We spent almost a week exploring national parks in Tanzania. Now we're gonna stay overnight in this little town of Karatu and make our way back to the coast tomorrow. Time for a shower to wash off all this dust. Look, we're covered in it.